Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
Organized the review. They'd concluded with low confidence that COVID had been transmitted from an animal to a human, along with 4 other intelligence agencies. And this is the same pattern that we see regularly. How can they be called intelligence agencies if they have no intelligence? If they say, oh, that's Russian misinformation operations. Turns out, no, it's just the CIA misinformation operation. This was presented by Avril Haines. You remember her, Director of National Intelligence, and 2 of her senior analysts to Joe Biden and his top aides in 21. So it sounds like all of their analysis and intelligence that went to Joe was wrong. The FBI, though, had not only concluded that a lab leak was likely, but it had moderate confidence in its assessment. And this is a strange position to be in, because the FBI got it right? What? Obviously, this wasn't from some bat having intercourse with someone over in China. Wuhan was right there. Everybody could see from the beginning that the guys we'll talk about in the Wall Street Journal article coming up, like Daszak and the Lancet folks, were making up a cover story. Everybody could see it except the intelligence agencies. So who are they playing for? Are they owned by China or something? Or is it they're covering up for themselves? In his first interview, Mr. Bannon told the Wall Street Journal, we'll jump to that article, that being the only agency that assessed the lab origin was more likely coming from the lab, and that the agency expressed high levels of confidence. We anticipated the FBI would be asked to go to the briefing, but the White House didn't even ask. They didn't want to hear from us. And so the breaking story and the exclusive really came over from the Wall Street Journal. Here's what this one said. You can see a big article here that was detailing the depth of this cover-up. We'll hit the highlights, but they're entitling this Behind Closed Doors, the spy world scientist who argued COVID was a lab leak versus the animal having intercourse with themselves story. A car and driver were ready to whisk John Brennan, the guy that we just talked about, ready to go, take him from the FBI headquarters one morning in August to go brief the White House. He had been told by his superiors who were on hand to be there because they needed to tell the president what was going on. But guess what? The White House never called for them, never got a summons. Bannon is somebody who's got some expertise, PhD in microbiology, worked on the 2001 terrorist attacks, but for more than a year, he'd spent most of his hours working on COVID. Frustrated by the Chinese stonewalling, Biden ordered a quick review, said, you guys go figure out where this came from. Now, the dominant view within the intelligence community was clear when Avril Haines, the DNI, and a couple of her aides briefed Biden on August 24th with fake news, made up information. The National Intelligence Council, a body of these senior folks, said they had low confidence that this came from intercourse. At the time, the FBI was the only agency who said no. And the White House didn't even ask. They go, well, you guys have the wrong answer. We don't care what you have to say. A spokeswoman for the DNI said it wasn't standard practice to invite different people who've got divergent views. So this is not like a debate, okay? We just present what we decide to present. And that's all we need to show the president. But an investigation by the Wall Street Journal shows that the disagreements among intelligence experts over what should be included in the report ran way deeper than what was publicly known. Nor were the FBI scientists the only ones who believed that they were wrong, that this did come from a lab. 3 scientists at the National Center for Medical Intelligence, part of the Pentagon's agency, conducted a scientific study that said, yep, COVID was manipulated in a laboratory in a risky research effort. But that analysis went against the other intelligence agencies, and it wasn't incorporated in the report. The Inspector General's office opened an inquiry in the spring into whether the scientist assessment were mishandled or suppressed. An agency spokesperson declined to comment. This is very problematic if they are not telling. Now, look, let's be clear. Joe Biden doesn't know anything anyways. You could have told him all of this. Not sure it would have changed anything because he's not really in charge. But the fact that we have intelligence agencies who are subordinating the presidency to their intelligence is insane. It's anti-democratic and anti-American. It should never happen in this country. 5 years after COVID emerged, the origin of the virus that killed more than 1.2 million Americans and over 7 million people has yet to be established, right? The pace of the intelligence investigation has lessened. The people who are investigating have gone elsewhere. Now, they urged a real quick sprint. Remember that. 2 theories emerged. We spent a lot of time talking about this back during the COVID era. A lot of time talking about the origins of COVID. And Kristen Anderson, he was one of the people who wrote in The Lancet, along with others, who said, no. Peter Daszak, remember him, EcoHealth Alliance. These guys were out there splicing and dicing viruses together. And we had that one article that explained that they were the furin cleavage site where, like Frankenstein's monster, they would chop off the head of one virus and attach it to the body of another. And you could see it in COVID, according to some experts. Now, that statement was followed by a bunch of propaganda, but the lab theory later gained credibility because Ralph Baric, this guy, had done some pioneering work on this and determined that there was some pretty risky research going on over there. But by the time Biden ordered his review, the intelligence agencies, who have no intelligence at all, said it was a zoonotic theory. And only the FBI said it was a lab leak. The intelligence agencies that drilled into the issue brought a range of capabilities that had no capabilities at all. Except they did bring this guy in, Bannon. Went to U of A, shout out Arizona. He was serving as a senior scientist in Quantico, got a call from a superior, said, "Can you help us?" He went to the FBI's near empty Hoover building because all the FBI agents were at homes with their triple face masks on. We might die. Oh no. So they had to evacuate the Hoover building. This guy shows up. He's like, "Where's the virus?" So as most government employees were still working remotely, this guy showed up. He's like, "Yeah, it came from a lab." The inquiry was barely underway when divisions emerged in the initial conference calls. He's like, "It came from a lab." They're like, "No, it didn't. No. Came from monkeys and bats." Much of the intelligence community was dismissive about the origins because they think that the Chinese were putting pressure on people. The FBI was already supporting the lab leak theory. Keane, who had a PhD in infectious diseases from London, left the State Department and was investigating this, but Beijing was not cooperating at all. Much of the debate turned on what was known about previous coronaviruses and Wuhan Institute of Virology. Then we had another debate emerge. We were asking about that specific lab, but Keane took the view that the geographic origin of the virus wasn't really important, where it emerged from. That left 2 other sides far apart. Others came in, and many were briefed. They briefed their counterparts, including one of Bannon's partners, another FBI agent with a PhD, on their initial findings. But in July 2021, they were instructed by a superior at the Medical Intelligence Center not to continue sharing their work with the FBI, which they were told was off the reservation, okay? They're not following the narrative, so you can't work with them anymore. Hardin and others, Cutlip and Gretchen, wrote an unclassified May 2020 paper that challenged the proximal origin assessment. They weren't allowed to circulate it outside the Medical Intelligence Center, but leaked it 3 years later after they got done lying to us. Retired Army Lieutenant General Scott Barrier, the DIA director during the report's preparation, didn't comment on this. The intelligence officials who briefed Biden in August of 2021 all wore masks to protect them. They all sitting there. "Oh no, we have no idea. It came from bats in a wet market." The participants included Haynes, other top officials who were sitting there lying, including the CIA, lying to the president. "No, do you think it came from a zoo?" Wet market, right? How about you? Wet market? Yeah, definitely wet. Our analysis is wet market. Yeah, we spent $5 billion, came from a wet market. Great job. Since the National Intelligence Council was among the proponents of the zoonotic theory and the CIA, like the two other agencies, had declined to take a stand, like, well, we don't know. We're just the CIA. What the hell do we know? A spokesman for Haines' office said that all this was accurately presented as we understood it. More than 3 years later, the intelligence agencies continue to investigate. They still don't know. In one sign that some government agencies are still looking at the issue, the Energy Department joined the FBI and said, yeah, probably a lab. In June 2023, there was a report. Haines and her office declassified more info about Wuhan, and others have now retired. So this guy's gone. Bannon is now kept a low profile. They're like, man, you keep speaking out, you're going to get, a nice little bullet to the earlobe. He hasn't been among the parade of witnesses who has appeared in the often partisan debates. Among those who testified, Fauci, we know what we think about him. Fauci denied ever calling the lab leak a conspiracy theory and says that scenario can't be excluded. Okay, sure, Fauci. Well, in August, the intelligence report suggests a conclusive assessment about the virus's origin cannot be made without China cooperating. Bannon is still urging people to take a look at this again. He says a bunch of information was excluded. What ended up on the intelligence community's cutting room floor needs to be re-examined. So all of the information that they threw out and never presented to the president and never presented to us, the public, about any of this is disgusting. How can you live in a so-called democratic society when our intelligence agencies aren't even briefing the president about the facts? And you've got a disagreement between the two. Isn't that exactly what you should be briefed on? You don't necessarily need to be briefed on, if you're the president and a good leader, on what the consensus is, because you already know what the consensus is. Okay, well, what is the non-consensus view? What is the opposing view? Okay, who's thinking outside the box on these? I know everybody in the room just wants to bomb everybody. I know, I got it. But anybody else have any other ideas about this? Or vice versa? I know you want to mandate everybody to take 1,000 of your products without any consequence to you, and the government will pay for it all. But does anybody else have any other theories? Like maybe we know where it came from, and this is not a weapon, or maybe it is a weapon, and we have to think about it. Maybe have some different conversations. You should know about the dissenting views. But they didn't. They kept it from Joe Biden. Now, he's an incompetent person, and so he may not have been able to do anything with the information. But regardless, this is not something that should be allowed to happen in our country. I'm happy that this is being exposed. Hopefully, Trump's people come in and take a look at this. Sounds like there might be a racketeering case here. All right, so that is what happened there from the Wall Street Journal. I'm still mad about COVID, as you can tell. But we've got some other stories that are out there. And this is curious. This is a curious one. The AP is reporting that Americans are exhausted by political news. I don't think it's Americans, because a good portion of Americans are pretty excited about winning. I think the people who are in the losing category are probably pretty dang exhausted, because losing is exhausting. And the Democrats have been having a lot of it. New ratings are out. An AP North came out saying that Democrats are tuning out. Now, they're trying to cope here with this headline. They'll explain a little bit further down. Yeah, no, Republicans are actually watching more because we're winning. We're excited about our country having some forward progress finally after 4 years of devastation. Now they're saying, well, no, but everybody's tuning out. No, it's just you guys. Here's what they write. From New York, they say, as a Democrat who immersed himself in political news, Zayed Al-Nala has much in common with many Americans. After the election, he's tuned out. He says, he's from San Diego, by the way, of course, says people are mentally exhausted. Everyone knows what is coming, and we're just taking some time off. Oh, man. Hopefully he's got a therapist or something to help him work through this, whatever this is. Television ratings, and now a new poll, clearly illustrate the phenomenon. About 2/3 of American adults say they've recently felt the need to limit media consumption about politics, according to a new poll. Smaller percentages of Americans are limiting their news intake. And here, election news on CNN and MSNBC, they say, was taking up too much of Sam's time. He's a 47-year-old electrician. He says, the last thing I want to watch right now is the interregnum, says he's a Democrat, no fan of Trump. So obviously he's not interested in any of this. But here you go. Here's they bury it a little bit further down. Polls find more Democrats than Republicans are stepping away from the news. Yeah. The poll was conducted in December, found that about 7 in 10 Democrats say they're stepping away from political news. The percentage isn't as high, though, as for Republicans. But still, 6 in 10 Republicans say they felt the need to take some time off, too. And the shares for independents is similar. And of course, it's the holidays. We just had a nice victory. It is a good time to kind of catch your breath a little bit and gear up for the incoming fight, because Trump's not the president yet, remember? He's just prepping. He will be the president soon enough when we have our January 20th Christmas celebration. Works than it has been for others. After election night, the primetime viewership of MSNBC was down 54% from the pre-election audience. That's a lot. CNN down 45% as well. But Fox News is up. Favorite news network for Trump fans, now up 13%, going the opposite direction. Since the election, 72% of the people watching one of those 3 cable networks in the evening were watching Fox News, as opposed to the others. Post-election slump for fans of Kamala, having a difficult time trying to figure this out. Some are confused, now looking for alternatives. And MSNBC had its own anger issue. We covered this when Morning Joe and Mika Brzezinski went down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. They came back like, we had to do it. You know, we're people of unity. We're very excited to mend the fence. We'll see what happens. Now, there's a concern that maybe people are going to check out. I think it's going to be the opposite, actually. I mean, Trump is going to push an aggressive agenda, and it's going to be the most interesting 4 years, maybe in political history, because Trump is at the helm. He's an interesting guy when he's around. Things are exciting. MSNBC can take some solace in history, saying that previous years they have bounced back after they've lost. Anula said, "I'll be tuning back in once the clown show starts." See, there you go. So even they are not going to be able to look away from this. Look, Trump is already talking about taking Panama, Greenland, and Canada is going to be our 51st state. What other TV or news media entertainment are you going to watch that's better than that? But the ride may not be smooth. MSNBC's slide is even steeper than it was in 16. People are even steeper than it was in 16. People are unplugging from cable news. I think that is all true. Still, others are finding new ways to watch on YouTube. And so they're going to have to figure it out. And I don't think that they're learning their lesson all that well. But I don't know why they're having a tough time getting viewers. I mean, Kamala Harris is celebrating Kwanzaa. And this is very interesting, political leadership. She wrote this and then got skewered for it. Said, "When I was growing up, Kwanzaa was a special time of reflection with family and friends. Let us carry the wisdom of the 7 principles with us as we work to build a brighter future. Happy Kwanzaa." From Kamala Harris with the Kwanzaa menorah or whatever that is called. So they're reaming her in the comments. Sarah Rose, you mean the made-up Marxist holiday that Indians celebrate? You mean that this one is a made-up holiday based on nothing? IO says, you mean the Kwanzaa creator who was then convicted of abusing women? You mean all that Kwanzaa? And people were saying that Kwanzaa was not even a thing when Kamala was born. Okay, so I looked this up actually. Kamala Harris was born in 1964, October 20th. Kwanzaa was invented and created 2 years later in 1966, as you can see right there. So then I guess she was raised alongside Kwanzaa. So I just go, all right. So that is who the Democrats have at the helm. No wonder people are not watching any of their shows. We also have Joe Biden and Jill Biden now just calling it a day. He spent nearly 40% of his entire presidency on vacation. This is him on the way to the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix. Is that how you say that? Always enjoying himself at the taxpayer expense. Let's see. Good job walking down the stairs. Okay. Thanks, Joe. All right, so that's over to the Virgin Islands. And then he also made his way. This is him arriving. Let's see, this is the president over from C-SPAN. Getting out of the car. Getting out of the car. Is this maybe them leaving and going to the Virgin Islands? All right, so that's the president. And we now know that he will be leaving soon. The end of the Biden administration is upon us. And Joe Biden is responsible for a lot of devastation in the Democratic Party. Politico is sharing with us 9 political trends that died in 2024, along with the Democratic Party and many of their ideas. Here's the list. They say the end of the year obituary packages are publishing. Everybody saying, what did we lose in 2024? Here are some of the things. So one thing that we definitely saw a lot less of and were a lot less impactful, celebrity endorsements. Remember, we had Oprah, and after they indicted Diddy, they brought out a lot of other people too. Remember, they brought out most of Hollywood. I can't even remember their names. J-Lo, Eminem, Usher, remember those people? They all of a sudden came out of the woodwork. Like, we love Kamala now. Previously, in prior elections, celebrities mattered a lot more. Now, not so much. You saw at this point here in prior elections, Arnold had 37 stars and so on and so forth. But here, 37 stars endorsed Harris. Trump had a few others, but they didn't really matter. Elon mattered because he opened up free speech. But even Taylor Swift came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, and it wasn't enough to push her over the margin. You can see, we also saw, they tell us that equal justice under the law has died. Look how ridiculous this is. They say Trump got sweeping immunity, and the Supreme Court reinforced this reality. Look how they write this. We've long known that Trump was getting special treatment in the courts. Special treatment? You mean like 4 indictments and lawsuits to throw him off the ballot and fake, in my opinion, civil fraud lawsuits and defamation filings brought about after they created the laws in New York to do that? We've long known Trump was getting special treatment in the courts. Give me a break. They have organized the entire Justice Department to take him out. They even prosecuted him with a fake prosecutor. They also say traditional canvassing is out. I'm not so sure about this. When we were at AmFest, we had a great talk with O'Malley on X, and he's part of Pennsylvania Chase, PA Chase, and they went door to door and they were chasing ballots. So canvassing in the sense that you might want to persuade voters, not really maybe working for either political party, but turning out the vote, right? Getting your people to turn their ballots in. I think that is still very much alive. Other political obituaries, DEI programs, gone. Saying after George Floyd, everybody was so excited about Black Lives Matter, even though they stole, what was it, like $60 million from the movement or whatever it was. But now those projects are going bye-bye. Many lawmakers have spent years outlining state-funded DEI programs. Walmart even pulled back on all of its diversity work. And now after Kamala's loss, it's clear many Democrats don't know what to do about these programs, especially when the Trump administration promised they're going to use the federal government to get rid of them. Also, dead or aborted, campaigning on abortion. They were so giddy about abortion. And I got to be honest, this issue made me nervous because of what happened in 2022 and because of what I saw out on the streets. Downtown in Phoenix, Arizona, we had canvassers with their pro-abortion pledges all over the place, just talking to people all day, constantly. abortion, 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 abortion. And I thought, oh man, this might be a big motivator. But turns out it is arguably less important than a wrecked economy, open borders, crime on the streets, massive inflation, and so on. So they put abortion rights ballot measures in 7 more states. And a lot of those won. A lot of those passed, but it wasn't enough to carry Kamala over the finish line. Also say trust the experts is now going bye-bye. America's great thinkers and investors spent 2024 pondering how AI might now make the human mind obsolete. But the cycle was a reminder that the data can't paint a full picture of what's really happening. Saying many were fooled, the data promised that Kamala was going to win because the polls were saying this, that, and the other, but the data failed and Kamala lost. Also, the Kennedy mystique is now dead. And I think maybe from the Kennedy family, but I think RFK Jr. is more popular than he's ever been. And people are in love with the dude. They also say the misinformation industry or lying. They say it had a banner year. Saying Trump is ramping up his decades-long war on veracity. Oh my gosh, what a joke. These people have been censoring the truth. They have been covering up for, well, first of all, their incompetence at every turn and censoring the people who challenge them. We just read an article in the prior segment about the lab leak theory that they covered up. These intelligence agencies who are supposed to be the experts on the truth are dishonest. So the real purveyors of information are them. The politics on Saturday Night Live also going away, not even a real factor. And I remember in prior elections, some of those SNL skits, some people might say were dispositive. Think, for example, about Sarah Palin and John McCain. They mocked Sarah Palin into oblivion. And a lot of people were tuning in and watching those numbers. But that did not happen this cycle because all of their tactics, all of their Oprahs and Al Sharptons and SNLs and their lecturings from Hollywood and J-Lo and all the progressives, they rallied them all. They scolded everybody. They threw out their own people like RFK Jr. and Joe Rogan. Now they're suffering the consequence. So you can see in this article, they've learned virtually nothing. I think this is mostly dripping with disdain for the people who have killed these things. Why don't you want celebrities to endorse you? Why don't you want equal justice under the law as we prosecute every single person who is even associated with Trump, try to disbar lawyers, de-license doctors, and so on? So they're upset about these deaths. But what they don't realize is the country will be much better for the elimination of these trends. All right, and so we've got one final story on the day, my friends, and it's O'Leary versus AOC, and here it is. Kevin O'Leary blasts AOC. She says we live in an oligopoly where there's certain people in control, and she blames people like Elon Musk. Now, AOC is partially right because we do have people in control who have a lot of extra power that they were never allowed to have or to maintain in their course of power. But here Kevin is saying she's identifying the wrong folks, and she's somebody who is incompetent to boot.
God, I like this. This is interesting.
Let's rewind this.
You literally have a completely unelected billionaire who has just taken over.
Is that, in your opinion, as a businessman and an investor, is that what we're seeing here?
No, not at all. And I will say how much I admire AOC for her marketing prowess. She's one of the worst managers I've ever seen. If I lived in her jurisdiction, which to me is one of the worst managed in the country, I would fire her and hire somebody way better. She destroyed the opportunities of 10,000 people when she rejected the Amazon facility there a long time ago. I have never forgiven her for that, but I admire her ability to just get in front of her phone, post social media, raise $10 to $15 at a time by saying outrageous things over and over again. If you live in her jurisdiction, ask her what's she done for you lately, except post this stuff for social media. That's what I would do. Just saying. Now, going on to her comment, no, it's ridiculous. This is a guy who has incredible track record in Elon Musk, who has amazing executional skills. It's simply saying one thing. I'm going to find a lot of waste in government. I know we've been doing the same thing, regardless who's in the White House for decades. Maybe we should change it up a little bit, and I will show you the ideas. You can endorse them or reject them as you wish, with one singular difference. If I find 39 federal buildings that are empty and I can save $2 billion over the budget cycle, and you tell me you're not going to do it, I'm going to post it on my global network, and I'm going to put a lot of pressure on lawmakers on both sides of the aisles to go get it done. I like this. This is interesting.
She can participate. She's got a big voice, but is she just complaining and just saying that people like Elon who are trying to root out government waste are the problem? I thought at one point Democrats also wanted to eliminate government waste, but now apparently they don't. So the AOC O'Leary battle continues. Meanwhile, O'Leary is apparently going down to Mar-a-Lago to talk about the annexation of Canada as their emissary from the north.
There's 41 million Canadians, basically the population of California, sitting on the world's largest amounts of all resources, including the most important, energy and water. Canadians over the holidays, the last 2 days, have been talking about this. They want to hear more. And so, you know, there's obviously a lot of issues, more details, but what this could be is the beginning of an economic union. Think about the power of combining the two economies, erasing the border between Canada and the United States, and putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that, give a common currency, figure out taxes across the board, get everything trading both ways, create a new, almost EU-like passport. I like this idea, and at least half of Canadians are interested. The problem is the government's collapsing in Canada right now. Nobody wants Trudeau to negotiate this deal. I don't want him doing it for me, so I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'll start the narrative.
All right.
The 41 million Canadians, I think most of them would trust me on this deal.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Let's see what Kevin has to say. We'll see what the terms are. He'll go down to Mar-a-Lago. We'll have a conversation. We'll see how Canada can come in. We got to be concerned about, we don't want them to be a massive blue state up there. So we got to be concerned about that. So we'll figure it out. But he's down there and working through it. Now, we've also got this conversation that's happening about Panama. And you remember this woman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who has been a Democrat for a long time. You can see it in her face. That's what happens when you've been a Democrat for too long. But what happened here is she's being asked about this Panama battle. So in addition to Canada coming aboard, we're also talking about Panama, since we lost 38,000 Americans building that sucker. And now it's being exploited by foreign powers, including the Chinese. We're not happy about it. So we want to regain some measure of control in the region. And now Debbie Wasserman Schultz is being asked about this. And this is an interesting exchange because she's saying maybe Trump, the anchor is saying maybe Trump has some logic to this, some justification. And if so, would you be okay with President Trump taking the reins back on behalf of America?
You may not like his style or approach to diplomacy, but if he does successfully, push China back or scare them off with regard to influence in the Americas, could this threat be worth angering Panama's government, in your view?
It is utterly preposterous to suggest that we are going to send our military into Panama to, quote, take back the Panama Canal.
Well, I don't think he said that. I think he did say that we were going to take back the Panama Canal. Like, that is directionally accurate. Don't know if I would quote that exactly. But I don't also think he said we're going to just invade Panama. Like, that wasn't part of the conversation. There are many other ways to regain a measure of control over the canal without a military invasion. Now, I'm not saying it's off the table, all right? But I'm just saying it's not his opening salvo. We're not invading. That's not what he said. So we'll see. We'll see. But there are a lot of other things that we could do. So, Debbie, I think you're misinterpreting the premise quite a bit.
As I said, we have a treaty with Panama. We have a free trade agreement with Panama. We are no more going to take back the Panama Canal than Panama is going to come in and try to take the Mississippi River from us. We have to have rational, balanced.
Well, you should have rational, balanced analogies, because obviously that is not even close to anything reasonable. Does the Panama have a navy that could overtake the United States Navy, for example? I don't think so. So it's an interesting comparison, but not one that works.
Diplomacy. And
all right, so Debbie's having a tough time, and she, I guess, is outraged about this, but there are treaties, and no doubt about it, the new ambassador to Panama is going to be looking at that treaty and looking at every single word in there and saying, what does this mean? And what does this mean? And what does this mean? And what does that mean? And maybe those words in that treaty give America some measure of utility. And so here is Byron Donalds explaining, look, Debbie, you were the DNC chair for a long time. You guys have been in charge for ages. You had the last 4 years to show the world how much better things would be under your stewardship. Unfortunately, you failed dramatically. Here is Byron Donalds.
You know, Congressman, I was really taken aback by this column in The Hill, which said that Democrats, sort of can and should disqualify Trump as an insurrectionist under the meaning of the Constitution. It's utterly absurd, quite frankly, and I know a thing or two as a lawyer about the Constitution. Are you hearing anything on the other side of the aisle about this?
They're going to reject the votes.
Maybe from people like Jamie Raskin, who I recall in 2017 challenged Trump's electors and tried to install Hillary Clinton as president.
No, we've not heard much from the Democrats. They're too busy licking their wounds and trying to figure out which way they need to conduct their party. But look, are they happy about the fact that Kamala Harris was blown out? No, they're not. But is anybody thinking that they're going to do anything about it? No, they're not. Donald Trump's going to be the president of the United States. He's going to get these elections certified on January 6th. He's going to get inaugurated on January 20th. The Democrats aren't going to like it, but those are the breaks, because they had an opportunity to run this country. And what they did was they ran it into the ground. Massively open borders, foreign policy that's a mess, massive inflation, censoring the American people. The list goes on and on. The American people rejected what the radical left was doing and gave Donald Trump a political mandate. So whether it's Jamie Raskin or any of the Democrats that are going to be upset on January 6th, you only have yourself to blame. You did a terrible job. The American people wanted change, and change is coming in the form of Donald Trump.
It's true. Well done there, Byron Donalds. Now, the people who have been articulating a basis for stopping Trump from transitioning into the presidency, like those columnists over from The Hill who wrote that opinion piece that we read previously, and people like Raskin, who are saying that Congress can vote under the 14th Amendment and the Insurrection Clause to reject certain votes of lawful states. Well, that sounds to me like they're interfering with the peaceful transition of power. And as Fani Willis has shown us, you can be indicted for a racketeering case when you call it a conspiracy. And so we're looking forward to seeing what Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Congress are investigating as soon as January 20th comes upon us. All right, my friends. And now let's see what you have to say about all of this. It's a beautiful day. We love some Byron Donalds here. And on YouTube, Just Rhonda, thank you for we got a nice Byron Donalds emoji. Did you guys see this one? All right, here, let me show you this one. So we can't do custom emojis on locals, but here, check this one out. Right there. Look at that Byron Donalds emoji right there in the chat. Brilliant. Love it. Thank you for that. Just Rhonda, our emoji purveyor of fine emojis. Just Rhonda in the house. It's a beautiful day, my friends. Happy Friday. We made it through another week, and it was a busy week. It was a Christmas week. Lots of joy and cheer and Christmas deliciousness inside. Let's see who is joining us on the day over on Locals and on the YouTubes. Byron Donalds. Ollie is challenging anyone to play Risk, that game of Risk. That game is a long and very frustrating game. Long and very frustrating game indeed. Hey, what's going on? Okay, so we got Just Rhonda. Good to see you. Hey, Dan is in the house. Glocky sent in some donos. Pookie's mom. A very nice dono. Very nice to see you, Pookie's mom. What a nice dono. Okay, so let me see what we've got cooking, my friends. Great to see everybody. How is the week unfolding? What's everybody doing today? Any good weekend plans? 2 babies from Gen X Boomer. Oh my goodness. It's coffee time. Yes, indeed. Hey, here's one. NY shared this one. Here we go. Says, okay. So those in the medical community, many of us with just humble biochem undergrad degrees knew it was a lab leak once we saw the fur and cleavage site. Nature didn't evolve this one. Yeah, I think that was... Who wrote that article? It was that one guy. His name is at the tip of my tongue. He's written a bunch of great articles. Seymour Hersh. Seymour Hersh. Ah! Yes! Seymour Hersh, I think was the name. And he wrote the one. He also exposed the lab leak and the Russian pipeline. Remember that one? Pretty sure that was him. Thank you, NY, for that one. It says, hard to explain, but the specific nucleic acids that code for the virus are depleted for natural sequences. There are varying ways that protein can be coded for DNA. The virus had sequences that were not seen in nature. Interesting. But always remember to follow the CDC recommendations. Thank you, NY. Hey, Keith O says, why is it that they were trying to push the jump from animals to humans in COVID to cover up a lab leak from a biolab where Fauci invested? I think that's what it was. The government didn't want to be found responsible for actually funding it. And I think NIAID, National Institutes of Health, which is Fauci's op, he was paying EcoHealth Alliance and DASEC money, grants, to go do these experiments in Wuhan. So they couldn't do them here. They did them in Wuhan. The whole thing went haywire, and they covered it up. No, it came from nature, I swear. What's up, Keitho? Thank you for the dono, my man. Voice of the people. Hey, Voice says I spent 1.5 hours last night digging into Lindy Lee. I think we found Feng Feng 2.0. It's concerning. Her dad is a Chinese official and a real estate guy. There may be a link there to China buying up land. That's interesting. Lindy Lee. Yeah, the fair weather conservative Democrat convert who's now all over the media, exposing whatever. As I said, very, very useful for the time being, especially if she goes and raises a bunch of money for Republicans. But I don't trust that she's like an authentic MAGA Christian conservative in any sense of the word. Hey, Liquid Rock Aquatics. Membo, 9 months. If Joe is on vacation, will there be pardons? Yeah, I think he can pardon on vacation. There's no real prohibition on pardoning while you're on vacation, I don't think. Now, is it plausible that he's going to be cognizant and knowingly making the pardons? It's debatable. Does he have the capacity to do it while he's passed out on the beach after an ice cream sundae coma? I don't know. Good questions. Hey, Voice of the People. Unless there's a punishment for crimes against humanity, I don't care where COVID comes from. I care what comes next if they're willing to do that. Yeah, I think the reason why the origin is important is because if it did come from a lab, then we need to know what happened there. Are we doing these experiments at scale? And if so, who's doing these things? There should be some sort of control mechanism. I would imagine you'd want to, if this was a lab leak, and I think that it was, shouldn't the response and the control of crime lab, chemical labs or whatever these labs are, shouldn't they be kind of on par with nuclear weapons? Like the security around them would be analogous to a nuclear bomb. And if you then confirm that it did come from a lab, now all these labs have to come under scrutiny like that. And they probably don't want that to happen. So the entire scientific community is trying to brace itself against the incoming regulation or the recourse. They don't.
Do you have your phone with you?
Brandon?
Do you have your phone on you? Yeah. Okay.
Happy birthday, by the way. Every day.
Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Hey, this is Kenneth.
Yes.
Got a package for you here. It's about some messages to Emily we should probably go over. Can we just go talk about it inside?
What is it?
Got some messages to Emily, the girl that was talking to you on Facebook. Just want to have a conversation about it, that's all.
What do I hear?
All right. For your safety, we're just recording, just so you can be assured we're not going to hurt you and you don't hurt us, okay? So, my name is Gordon. Sorry to meet you like this.
All right, Gordon.
Hey, what's the matter?
Yeah, it's about somebody I met on Facebook.
What about it?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, it's just a conversation, ma'am. It's just personal online stuff. It's nothing too serious. That's all.
You in trouble, Ken?
I hope not.
Nah, that shouldn't be the case. Just want to kind of go talk about it kind of in the front lawn some more? Or...
Let me get my shoes on.
Okay, no problem. Just for my safety, can you just keep the door open, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. He's a wife guy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we're not going to be able to go in the house because wifey try to get him like in front of Mike's car. Oh. So, these are both of your doors. Okay. Fair. Yeah, we can just kind of go in front of the. Oh, is she gonna be outside?
Oh, God, listen.
Huh?
My sister.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that case, I mean, it's kind of cold. I mean, if we could go inside, just go in a private room, it'd probably be better. Rather than just stand in the cold and just talk about this.
Yeah, I didn't want her to know if it's anything.
I mean, it's just about the messages to her, kind of what happened, but, I mean...
Well, I blocked her.
Right. No, that's why I just want to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
But, okay, so why do we end up blocking her? Yeah.
I was telling her that I didn't want to come over to see her.
Right.
Because of her age.
How old is she?
She was telling me she was 12.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't want to get robbed.
Right.
I ended it.
So how did y'all kind of start talking online?
She fidgeted me.
Okay.
And she told me where she lived. I said, I'm in Ben Salem too. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we went from there.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so, like, what did she kind of talk about with you in the conversation? Like,
Just she didn't want her mom to know. She was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And
Got it. Yeah.
Sex talk was involved.
Okay.
But,
what was she saying with that? I mean, because I know girls online are just fucking insane nowadays with that type of crap. Like,
what sex?
yeah.
Just what do you do? I don't know anything about it. But I was explaining to her what guys and girls do and everything.
Right. Fair enough. Was there ever just like her saying that she wanted to have it with you or anything like that?
Yes.
Really? What was she saying with that?
Come over and show me. My mommy won't be home at a certain time.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking to myself, I can't be doing this.
Okay. Got it. Because I wanted to bring it up because there were seems like there was a few times you kind of went by her apartment and stuff like that.
I went by there, because she gave me the address.
Uh-huh.
It was Franklin Commons.
Right.
I went by once.
Well, I think there was like 2 times, I think.
I lied to her.
You went by, okay, so you didn't go by a second time.
I go by there when I go to get my bagels.
Okay.
It's like right on the way.
Got it.
But I never went to her apartment.
Where do you get your bagels from?
A&S Bagel.
Damn, okay, because I know this one shop in Philly, but I haven't had anything good here. I mean, shit.
A&S Bagel. Cheap, $5 is big ass bagels.
Really? Fuck
You know
yeah.
where, I don't know. You know where from Galloway Road.
Okay, yeah, I passed it.
There's one shopping center with a liquor store.
Uh-huh.
And then one past that is where you get the bagels.
Okay, got it. Here, can we just turn the flashlight on so I can see what was said here? Because it's like,
How do you guys get that?
Well, so we have a group called here. You can just come out here because I can't see shit. Yeah, we have a group just called Kid Protectors USA. We just make sure kids don't talk to adults, adults don't talk to kids or anything like that.
There's a ton of girls on that age on Facebook.
Yeah,
Always asking for money.
Right. No, that's what I was trying to like. That's what I wanted to ask you about too, because I saw like with you, like you're not out there to hurt anybody or do anything like that. I mean, there's obviously guys that are, but
Yeah,
you don't strike me
I
as
know there's
that.
slobs out there that do that shit.
Right. No, and you're so
I just go on Facebook just to talk.
right.
They're always asking for money, gift cards, and blah blah blah.
The girls her age are asking for that shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, they are.
How? When did you first find out about that happening?
I guess a couple months ago.
Really? So
I need a gift card and get me a gift card. My parents are dead. And they go through all this. I'm living with my sister. My mom's dead. My dad's dead.
and these are just like
They're
11.
12, 13, and they send you pictures.
What? They send pictures?
Well, not naked pictures, but they would if you sent them a card, they would.
Really? Okay.
I'm surprised you don't know about that.
Well, I mean, because I only have a message to Emily. I mean, I know it happens sometimes, but it's just that common. They're just finding you and just talking.
I'm serious. It's crazy.
Okay.
And I end up blocking all of them.
Right.
I block them. That's why I blocked Emily.
Right.
She never sent me any naked pictures.
Okay.
But after she kept telling me to come over, like tonight somebody come over.
Right. Did you have to block a few of them because they sent you nudes?
I blocked them because they kept begging for gift cards.
They kept begging for gift cards? Got it.
Not because of the nudes, but I never actually got any nudes on them.
Really?
Just for the gift cards.
Fair enough.
It just goes on and on and on. You send them one and
Right. Were there any pics that were sent to Emily at all? Okay, there weren't any like basically, because I haven't read all these messages. I mean, I'm gonna drop it. I don't like to read too much, but like, if I were to go through all the messages,
it would have been in there, wouldn't it?
Like a penis pic from you to her.
Yeah.
Did you send any?
I sent one,
Okay, got it.
but I deleted it.
Right. Well, hey, I mean, you did the right thing after. I mean,
Yeah, I felt like an asshole. But she asked me,
okay.
"What's it look like? How big is it?" But, so
I mean, how many of these other girls have kind of like begged you to send them penis pics like that?
maybe one or two.
Okay.
But I deleted them.
Okay.
I deleted the pic, and then I ended up blocking them anyway.
Yeah, because I was
Most
kind
of them
of
live like California.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know how California is with that type of shit. But, so
They're curious.
yeah.
I didn't think it was a big deal.
Right. No, I mean, it's not like you're kidnapping them and just,
I
because
would never go over there. That's why I blocked them over.
right. So some of these other girls, how old were they who you sent the dick pics
Same
to?
age.
Fucking 12.
All 12, between 12 and 15.
God damn, man.
I'm talking one now is 18. She lives in, I think, Bethlehem, PA. She's 18.
Okay. Well, that's it. I mean, that's
She's
good.
begging for cards. And I'm telling her, get a job. I told all these girls, get a job. I know the 12-year-olds can't, but the 18-year-old, get a job.
Right.
I will.
Right.
I want to buy a dress.
Right. Fair enough. When did you first find out about that Telegram app?
That was a while ago.
Really? Like before Facebook or?
After Facebook.
Who got you to go on Telegram?
One of the girls, the young girls.
No.
Talk on Telegram. This is private.
Got it.
Is that on there too?
With that young girl? I mean, I didn't print out all of it.
I'm not in.
No, she didn't talk to you on Telegram, did she?
No, that's the other one.
Right. Yeah, no, I know the other ones did. So,
It's supposed to be private.
yeah, but Telegram had that thing like a couple months ago where the CEO just kind of like switched it to not private. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so it was kind of easy to go in that too. So, are you sure none of these girls on Telegram have just started sending you nudes or anything like that? Because, I know you're not. I know we're not trying to, give me the runaround here, but I'm more curious about how the girls are even doing shit like that. Like, are you sure none of them have sent you nudes? Because
They have. To be honest with you, they have.
yeah. And these are the how old are they?
The young 12.
What the fuck? Are they like?
Yeah, you might think I'm a pervert.
I think every guy on Facebook's a pervert, though. Like, I'm on Facebook, and you can see some of my messages. I don't give a fuck if you're a pervert. I mean, I think every guy is.
I would never do anything with them.
That's what I'm saying,
But
right?
I look, because
Yeah.
65.
Yeah, you look good for 65, man.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I look younger. But
yeah. I mean, if I had to guess your age, I'd probably say you're 50. Early,
So
yeah,
45,
45, 50. Yeah. What's your secret, man? Just cigarettes and alcohol?
cigarettes and beer and a little bit of weed once in a while. And
Nice. I love it.
I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't stress.
Yeah, no, you're a very relaxed
I try
guy.
not to stress.
Yeah. Right. No, ma'am. That's not the goal here.
No, just information. I'll tell you when I come in.
Do you think we could go and talk about it? I'm a little cold out here. I
You want to
mean,
go in my room?
yeah, fuck it, let's go.
I don't know why you're wearing so much clothes.
Well, I'm originally from Texas, so I don't own any jackets. I embrace the cold, but God, you got a nice setup in here, man. Big Eagles fan?
Used to be a garage.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm Eagles fan.
Yeah. How do you like that? How they're doing this year?
You pull that door shut.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Doing real good.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts grew up not too far from me. For safety reasons, man, we're not here to blast anything, but obviously I'm in someone's house right now, and I just want y'all to be assured we're not here to hurt you or ask for any money or anything like that. We're just here to kind of make sure that he's on the right track, the girls are on the right track, and obviously, I think he's been doing a tremendous job of kind of being honest, and of course, just kind of telling us about the dangers of potential online stuff that happen. I think he's a connoisseur when it comes to some of that stuff, but yeah.
That's weird.
This is the lights.
That's all lights I got. There's no bulb in that.
Really?
I only got these 2 lights here.
Oh, here, you sit on this couch now.
Yeah, sit down now.
All right, sounds good.
You want me to leave? Is this private? Or...
I'll feel you going there.
I just don't want you to be in trouble.
Yeah, no, man, we're not here for that. We're not like the cops or anything, so we're just yeah. My name's Gordon, by the way, Joanne.
Oh, hi, Gordon. I'm Joanne. Sorry about the... Hi, Derek. And...
Oh, I'm David.
Hi, David.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah.
All right. Can I get you guys anything? Water or anything?
I would love to have a water.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, nothing.
Wow, you guys are like the nicest people in the Philadelphia area I know. They say all Eagles fans are like dicks, but you're very nice. Well, I mean, just being in Philadelphia now for the past year, you know what I'm saying? It's like true. Right. Can we turn off that or just turn the TV down if you just No, I mean all the way down. I don't see the point of having it on at all. No, you can just turn the volume down. If you want to stare at Bear Grylls. Oh, yeah. You can turn your game off too. Yeah, no, appreciate it. All right, cool. So how does it work? When these girls are just so, I guess, promiscuous or so forward, with this, how does it even go to where they're sending nudes to people like this?
How do they do it?
How do they send nudes to people like this?
Just like you said. They offer, I'll send you a nude of me if you send me a gift card.
Okay. So
some of them I just I argue with them, say no, get a job or ask your parents or whatever.
Right.
And then I end up blocking them. Emily was nice. She wasn't like that.
Right.
But then she got to the point, she, like tonight, she's like, if you come over, can you bring me something to eat?
Right.
I said, doesn't your mom feed you? She don't have any money.
Right.
I'm thinking, how did your mom not have any money to give you food?
Right.
I said, no, that's when I blocked her.
Do you think that's why you blocked her?
Yeah, because then I got to the point thinking, oh, she's getting like these other girls.
Oh,
I wouldn't
okay.
get into it with her again.
Got it. Got
I
it.
mean, I blocked so many girls, dude. What's your name, Jordan?
Gordon.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I blocked so many girls, Gordon. I know it's dumb to even get involved with them.
Right. Right.
Kent.
I'm bored, I sit here and I go to Facebook and
Do you work at all, or?
I do. I'm retired.
Oh, okay. Got it. So,
We're
what
going
did you do for work?
to,
I work at Redner's.
At oh, Rudders.
Redner's.
Redner's. What's Redner's?
It's a street market.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Up in Langhorne.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Were you like a manager there, or?
I was overnight manager.
Nice.
Night shift.
Dude, I'm sure that's was that taxing on your body over the years, like being up there?
It is at first.
Got it. Got it.
I did that most of my life.
Wow, interesting. Yeah. So, what kind of gift cards are they even asking for? Like, what?
Mostly Steam, Razer. A few asked for Apple.
Got it. So, just honestly, like, how many gift cards do you think you bought them, or whatever?
I'd say maybe 4.
4.
Yeah.
And then, so
the girl, even that 18-year-old, was talking to. I got her an Xbox.
you got her an Xbox?
Xbox card.
Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say, like, God, how are you just dishing out like this?
Soft one first.
Right, no kidding. So these 12 or 13-year-old girls, they ask for gift cards. A few times you have obliged, then you send them a gift card, and they send you nudes of themselves, that